Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Welcome to Real People, Real Journeys. If you're new to the program, this is where I sit down with our very real members and talk about their very real journeys. Today, my guest is 8 pounds away from her goal after losing 152 pounds. My goodness. Elizabeth Mather is 31 years old. She hails from my hometown of Peterborough. We're going to talk to her. What's really interesting is she's currently doing her 8th program, but she says this is only her 4th program on her finally and forever journey. Let's not waste one more minute. Let's bring her on. Introducing Elizabeth.
Hello.
I was just saying to Elizabeth, I'm so excited. You can imagine how exciting this is for me. I mean, 152 pounds is wow, but that's not why. That's not why. When we were having our pre-production meeting with Kim and the team, Kim was just saying, and we're going to talk about how you've been taking Ozempic and how that can be a game changer for people. But we all know people who've been taking the GLP-1 medications, and there's just a certain look. Right? There's that certain look, Ozempic face, people call it. It's just when you lose a lot of weight real quickly. And when I saw you, I was just like, you look amazing. And Kim was like, this is like healthy weight loss. This is like, wait till you see her, wait till you meet her. So here we are. Hi.
Hi. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So is it Ozempic? I just want to get clear. Is it Ozempic? Is that what you started with, Ozempic?
Yeah, I'm on Ozempic. Yep.
Okay, because there's a variety of different GLP-1s out there. And we do want to do a shout out to all of our members who are taking any of the GLP-1s. You may be a new member and not realize I'm absolutely on board. I believe that they can be a game changer, but it doesn't necessarily make it easier. It can absolutely help. But there's still a lot of work to do. So where do we start with your journey? I know at your highest, you were 325 pounds. You mentioned in the bio, and if you have yet to read it, everyone, we've posted that in the Facebook support group. When you look back at your life, when did your journey with weight start?
I think, as a lot of people usually say, it started when I was very young, probably before I even noticed it. My parents have always struggled with their weight. They've always done a lot of weight loss programs. It was always kind of something that was in the house. Okay, this week we're dieting, this week we're not. I was always kind of the bigger kid when I was younger. So there were a lot of comments from other kids or from very well-intentioned family members, but saying, oh, look how much weight you've gained. Oh, you're eating all of that. Just little comments like that really stick with you. So yeah, it was always something that I was conscious of, trying to lose weight, like pretty much my whole life. So,
you know what I've never asked anyone is, what did you think of dieting? Like, what did you think of all of it at the time?
Yeah, when I was young, I don't think I really recognized what it was because it was just something that was in the house. If my parents were doing a diet, oh, this week we're not eating junk food. And then all of a sudden, oh, this week we are. I don't think it was probably till elementary school, maybe when I was 10 or 12, when you start seeing things on TV, right? People are dieting, there's ads for diets, and you start to think, oh, well, I'm getting these comments about being bigger, not looking good. Maybe this is something that I should be doing.
Yeah. You've done a lot of diets. What's the craziest one that you were like, looking back, you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yes. Am I allowed to name it? The Dr. Bernstein Diet, where they give you the injections. I think I was eating like maybe 800 calories a day. And this was when I was in university. So I was going to school for like 12 hours a day. I was rowing every day. And I was only eating like 800 calories. And when I look back, I just think like, what was I thinking? There are times when like I would stand up too fast and I would pass out. And to me, it was just like, oh, great, it's working. Like, who thinks like that? You know what I mean? But that's what it was. And with Dr. Bernstein, you had to go in to the studio 3 times a week and get weighed in front of people. I just remember crying every single day about being up like 0.5 pounds because no one told you that that's normal, you know, that you're on your period, that you worked out, and that it's normal for your weight to fluctuate. It was, oh, well, you've done something wrong. You've eaten something wrong.
Yeah, well, that was, I was eating less, exercising more, you know, probably, and not eating enough. Plus, you probably very similar in school, trying to juggle all of it, high stress. We have probably have very similar stories. Let's get into the GLP ones. What was you obviously, you know, you've been paying attention to diets. You heard the news come about. People were starting to talk about it. Had you always been working with your doctor on this?
No, for a long time, I didn't involve my doctor. I think a lot of it probably was just shame. I didn't want to involve anyone that I didn't have to involve. Um,
Right.
yeah, it really just came to a point where I thought nothing else is working. I need to go and speak to him because in my head, it was either I get on a medication or I need to have a surgery. Like, I don't know what my other options are. And so, yeah, that's when I went to him. And I was very nervous about getting on the medications. I mean, you see a lot of things in the media and a lot of negative talk about being on the weight loss medications. And so I was nervous about like the stigma and how people would look at me if I told them that I was on it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of judgment when you are overweight. There's a lot of judgment when you're underweight. There's a lot of judgment all the time. And then something comes up and you think, oh, this might actually work. But all you see is people's opinions about it and
Mhm.
judgments behind that.
Yeah, exactly. So it made me nervous even to try it. But yeah, I'm very fortunate that I do have a family doctor and that he was very willing to listen to me and to support me in choosing to go on Ozempic. So
Okay. So let's talk about, and I do want to say with all the, someone say, can you eventually get off Ozempic? Yeah, we're going to talk to Elizabeth about that. And there are all sorts of weight loss medications out there, or GLP-1s, people like to call them at this point. Definitely a conversation for your doctor. We are not promoting them. We are just sharing Elizabeth's story and knowing that there are many of our members who have chosen to work with her doctors as well. So I want to get into that because you signed up. What was your first experience with the Libby Method? How did you hear about it?
So very first experience, I had a couple aunts and cousins that were doing it. And I remember we were at a family get together and they said, oh yeah, I have to eat my nut snack. And I was like, what are you talking about? Your nut snack? Oh yeah, Gina says I have to eat my nut snack now.
Yeah.
That was the first introduction. And so, yeah, I think my mom and myself joined the very first Gina program together.
Love it.
I only stuck with it till week 4. And it's funny because I was losing weight. When I think back, I have to think like I just didn't have the capacity or the mindset to stick with it because I was losing weight on that first program. But as soon as we got to downsizing, I just quit and I just said, no, I'm not doing it anymore.
Why do you think, in hindsight, looking back? Because that's where we're at. We're week 4 of the program, and I'm sure you're not the only one. And as you know, I mentioned this is the week that most resembles like a diet, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it does tend to bring up a lot of the feels. Was that part of it, or looking back now,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, I think looking back, it definitely was a lot of those feelings coming up, and I just
Mm.
wasn't ready to face them, to work through them. I think at the time I had a lot of other things in my life going on, so I just didn't have that time to set aside to really focus on it. And so the easiest thing for me was just to quit and not do it anymore.
Yeah. And so you tried a few programs after
Yes,
that.
I tried another one. I think I quit week 2. And then I bought 2 more with the hopes of doing them.
Yeah.
Didn't even open the app, didn't even do day 1. But yeah, I was very hopeful. And then, yeah, some time passed and I was at my highest weight, was so unhappy just with my entire life, and got on the Ozempic and was losing weight. But yeah, no one tells you, like, even on the Ozempic, how to eat, what to do, how to face all these other things that are going on. Like, obviously, it's not just the food. You say it over and over again. It's not just the food. And so, yeah, I remembered, oh, the Gina program. I lost weight on it. It was a great program. I'm going to start it up and I'm going to use it with the Ozempic. And just since then, it's just been completely different. My whole life has changed. So
Is it the Ozempic, or was it your mindset? Can you kind of share what people what it's like? Because everyone I'm sure is like, okay, like I'm listening. And again, this is not promoting and not everyone needs, but absolutely can be a game changer. At your highest, again, you're 325 pounds. So, sometimes you need to like pull out the big guns on this. But was it just what was it about it? What was the game changer that you were like, okay, now I can do this?
Yeah, I think part of it was just sometimes you hit that point where you think, okay, something has to change, right? And that's what got me on the Ozempic. I think I put in my bio that I flew on a plane down to Florida with my friend and the seatbelt didn't fit, right? And I knew about seatbelt extenders, but I was so like shameful about being overweight that I wouldn't ask for it. And so I flew this whole flight without my seatbelt done up. And it just like, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you're crazy. So something has to change. And so, yeah, I got on the Ozempic and it just quieted all that food noise. It just made it so much easier to think, okay, this is what I should be eating. This is what I should be doing. And so I just had all this brain power and all this capacity to now make changes with the program.
Well, listen, 152 pounds lost. I don't care how you do that. It's no easy feat. You are now on your fourth program, like 8 in total, but you're not counting the first 4. 8 in total. And so what's your realization in taking your GLP-1 and doing the program at the same time?
That there is so much more to it than the food. Just because, I started the Ozempic, I lost weight. But yeah, there was so much else going on that wasn't changing. And so you do have to incorporate all the different aspects, the mental side, the activity, your sleep, your stress. Like there's just so much that factors into it. And you really have to look at it as a whole. You can't look at it as one piece, one piece, one piece. You have to look at how it all interacts.
That's really interesting because my next question was going to be, what's the hardest thing about taking Ozempic and what's the hardest thing about doing the program? Or are they part of the same?
Hardest thing about taking Ozempic. Yeah, it definitely has some side effects. And I know people talk about it, but like the nausea just hits you out of nowhere. Like, holy, it can rock you when you first start it. And then, yeah, the hardest thing about the program, I think just learning to not be perfect. Like for me, I have always been a very all or nothing, black or white person. And yeah, especially having done the 4 now, every day is not going to be perfect. It just can't be.
What are you learning about yourself for 4 official programs in?
Oh, I learn something new about myself every day. Every day on this program, I learn something new. I just feel like I'm constantly growing and changing. And learning about like how strong I am, I guess, and how much I can do when I put my mind to it.
And what do your doctors say? You must be doing follow-ups with your doctor?
Yeah. He's very impressed. I always talk about how I do the program with it. I started seeing a naturopath. And obviously, like she knew about the program already, which was amazing. So I didn't have to explain everything to her. And yeah, she said, wow, it's amazing. Your blood work shows it. You show it, like everything. So
Love that. And what's your plan? People talk about how you start taking it, you have to take it forever. Do you feel like that is true? We have members who are asking.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because my doctor did kind of word it that way of, okay, this is going to be the rest of your life. And to him, that probably is because that's what he knows and that's what he's been taught. But yeah, I've done some research. I've looked into it. I've spoken with my naturopath and from my knowledge, and I think one of your guests said it as well, if you've made other changes in your life that can sustain the weight loss, then there's no reason that you can't come off of it. And so that's the point that I'm on right now with my naturopath helping me is that I'm starting to wean off of the Ozempic because I have made these other changes in my life that can sustain the weight loss without it.
Yeah. How are you finding this is downsizing week, as you know. How are you finding with your appetite being somewhat suppressed, for lack of a better scientific word? How are you finding it eating all the meals and snacks and following the food plan itself? Any tips for anyone else who might also be using GLP-1s at the same time?
Yeah, you definitely have to dig in. You have to kind of sit down and give yourself that space to really focus on the food, and really connect with the mindful eating questions, because it is hard when your appetite is suppressed to think, okay, well, when am I satisfied? When am I slightly unsatisfied? And you just have to slow down and kind of take the time to really dig in and feel it in your body.
Well, it's interesting because I was just thinking, it can help quiet the food noise, but it doesn't help you with patience, taking the time to connect, taking a minute before you eat, none of those things. And, people find it hard to like, if I don't have an appetite, how can I actually, follow the plan? It's about actually taking the time to assess how you are feeling. And you could very well not be hungry, but as soon as you have those token amounts, you find out, "Oh, actually, I am hungry." What is the biggest change you've noticed with yourself since losing 152 pounds?
Yeah, it's a kind of weird one, but I just find that I'm so much nicer, and that's nicer to myself, but that's
Mhm.
nicer to people around me too. Like, and I don't know if it comes from feeling better, and so I'm able to be nicer to those around me, but I just think, like, I was never a mean person, but I just so much nicer to people around me. I'm so much nicer to myself when I look in the mirror, when I wake up in the morning, which obviously leads to me being happier throughout the day. So
How is, what do your mom and dad think?
yeah, they tell me all the time how proud they are of me, and how hard I work. And yeah, they're very, very supportive of me.
Well, I love that your mom did the program, because she knows how it's work.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as opposed to you just took the easy route and you took some medication and you end up losing weight. I hope she realized how hard you really truly are working because with the Livby Method, it's no joke. It's no joke.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. You still got to put the work in. Like, even medication, no medication, you still have to put all the same work in to get to where you want to be.
How often are you checking in with your doctor?
I check in about every 2 months or so,
Okay.
just to kind of, yeah, see that we're still on the right path. I check in. I just checked in with my naturopath not that long ago and had my blood work redone, so everything's looking
Good.
good.
Good. So 8 pounds away, 8 pounds away from your goal. And how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it almost doesn't feel real. I don't know. It's weird to think, oh, 8 pounds away, when it's been such a long journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited. It's definitely last program and this program. There's a lot more fluctuations on the scale. And some of that is weaning off the Ozempic, and some of that is maybe I haven't been as dedicated. Some of those bites and bits come in. But yeah, I'm so much more comfortable with seeing the scale fluctuate that I'm like, oh, I'm going to get there eventually. Like, if it's next week, if it's next month, if it's next year, like, I'm going to get there. So
I love that. What's the reaction been with friends, coworkers?
yeah, it's funny. A lot of people don't say anything, which is
Mm.
so weird, because I think, you have to see it. Like, you have to see the difference. So yeah, for a long time, nobody said anything. I mean, my parents would mention it, but friends, coworkers, they wouldn't say anything. And then just in the last like couple weeks, people start saying, "Oh, have you lost some weight?" And I'm thinking, well, yeah, just a little bit of weight, like.
Well, I
So
mean,
yeah, it's definitely weird, and you can't rely on other people's comments to make it worthwhile, right? You have to see it in yourself.
well, we all love that validation, but it's not cool to validate anymore. And it's one of those
Mhm.
things when you've gone and done it the right way and worked really hard to make change and you're really proud of yourself and no one's saying anything to you because it's just not cool to say anything. That's, it's you talk about being motivated. Sometimes what motivates us is other people validating us. And when they're
Mhm.
not, it's hard to keep going. Have you had some down days, down weeks, down months? Like, or has it all just been like every sunshine and rainbows and everything's amazing?
No, definitely down days, definitely down weeks. Um, as much as I can understand that the scale fluctuates, there's still times where I see it go up and I think, oh my God, what is going on? And I
Yeah.
just kind of have to hear your voice and think, okay, I worked out yesterday, I'm sick, I'm on my period, I didn't sleep, I just got off a night shift. Obviously, my scale is up. But it's still hard. And then there's obviously other things that come into play. There's stress in life, there's stress at work. But that doesn't always make it easy. Yeah, it's not smooth sailing for sure. But
I hear some of our members, I hear all the time, I wish I would have found the Livby Method when I was younger. So many of us spend so much of our lives trying to lose weight, do all the diets, and it's not from not spending the money or doing the work or, putting the time in or anything like that. It's just the way those diets were designed were just not sustainable. You're so young, 31 years old. I'm so excited for you, honestly. And do you see that contrast in the group where, obviously we have our main demographics a little bit more mature, I like to say. I'm sure you must hear some of those comments.
oh yeah, I definitely see the comments, and I know that I'm so fortunate to have found the program and to have made these changes when I am young, so that I can live the rest of my life happy and healthy, and if I have kids, hopefully pass on
Yeah.
this better way of eating to them, so that they don't have to go through it. I never want them to have to go through what I went through or what so many people have gone through with the diet industry. I want them to have a good relationship with food and with their body.
Do you ever struggle with like your past, like forgiving yourself or again, not something I've ever asked anyone before, like, with all the diets that we've done and we just kind of let it go. We want to move past that. But
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of times that I think back, and some of it's shame that, like, oh, I lost the weight and I couldn't keep it off. Some of it's
mhm.
regret of, why did I spend that money? Why did I put myself through that? But yeah, I've come a long way to think that, like, everything that I've done in my life has led me to where I am, and all of it kind of took me down this path. And so if that's what needed to happen to get me here, then that's what needed to happen. But there's definitely times where I look back and I think, like, why did I put myself through that?
Yeah. You are making so many changes when it comes to following the program, obviously, but it's about really it's we always hear it's unlearning, relearning, learning new things, working through your issues and associations and your old habits and creating new habits. In what ways has your lifestyle changed?
Yeah, in so many ways. I've started seeing a therapist. I've
Oh,
gone gluten free because I found out kind of by chance that I'm celiac and shouldn't be eating gluten, and that maybe that was contributing to things.
probably.
Yeah, I've had some blood work done, and found that I was quite deficient in iron, which again, like, obviously had an impact on me. I move a lot more now. I'm quite active. I get up early in the morning and start my day, and yeah, just kind of connecting with friends and trying new things and putting myself out there, which obviously makes a big difference.
Were you exercising before? Everyone wants to know you're exercising. Were you exercising?
Before I started Gina, it would go off and on. When I was dieting, I was exercising, and when I wasn't exercising. But yeah, now I exercise every day or move my body every day. So,
I love that. What are you most proud of?
most proud of, I think, just seeing that I can do anything that I put my mind to,
Yeah.
that I can work hard and make the change, and just how much more comfortable with myself I've become.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. What's the most profound change or the profound thing that you think is going to come out of you losing your weight in the way that you have?
Hmm. I'm so much more willing to put myself out there. And I think a lot of people probably have the same feeling of, when you are overweight, there's a lot of shame and there's a lot of judgment from people. And so you don't try these things, you don't put yourself out there. And I just have so much less fear of, like, putting myself out there, of trying new things, of meeting new people. I'm dating now, which like I didn't think I would. And not that you have to lose weight to date, but just the confidence is there to say that like I can do this. I've done the Gina Livby program, I've lost the weight, and now I can do this.
Amazing. I'm just thinking about the change that you've made and the time you've put into this when you say you've done 8 programs. So I just want to remind people, like, that's 2 years. That's 2 years. And yes, okay, maybe the first 4 you didn't accomplish that as much as you would have liked, but I think they still factor into your journey. And
Mm-hmm.
so, 152 pounds is not an overnight success. This is a lot of time and effort put into the program and the process. What are your tips for people in knowing that this is week 4 of the program and you didn't quite make it through week 4, the first couple programs? What are your tips for people in terms of being successful?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest ones is just like have grace for yourself and know that every day isn't going to be perfect. There are days that I get up and, oh, I'm crushing it. I work out, I get
Yeah.
all my meals and snacks in, I drink all my water, I'm feeling great. And then there are days, where everything's going wrong, where work is busy and I'm trying to shove carrots in my mouth between calls and I'm trying to eat things like on the run. Like every day is not going to be perfect, and you just have to be okay with that. And
Did
then
you
yeah,
take
and sorry,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, sorry. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to move on to the next one of like embrace the mess, especially in this week. Things do get emotional. It brings up a lot of feels, and if you can kind of embrace them and feel them and give yourself that time and space to really kind of examine them and think, okay, why am I feeling this? Where is this coming from? It's going to help you a lot down the line. And that includes embracing the fluctuations on the scale. As much as like, it's going to fluctuate, it can still be hard to see it go up, go down, go up, go down. And just know that it's normal and that it is going to happen.
And I see you have a tip here about taking progress photos.
Yes. Yeah. That's part of the thing. You don't always get that validation from other people. You see yourself in the mirror every day. So obviously, like, you feel the different clothes that you're wearing, but it can be hard to kind of look at yourself in the mirror and think, oh, yeah, this is how much I've changed. Like, I look back at those old photos sometimes and I think, well, that's not me. Like, that's not what I look like. So yeah, it can be really hard to kind of to meld those two together if you're not taking those photos.
They don't have to be necessarily of yourself. I know you shared your work pants because you are a paramedic and you showed the team can bring that up. This is your before pants and your now pants.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, those were the pants that I was wearing at my highest, and I wore them for a long time with a belt, just kept cinching it tighter and tighter and tighter, refused to get new ones. And then, yeah, eventually asked for a new pair of pants. And when I compared them, I just was like, oh my God, like the difference, and it's those kind of things that you don't always notice.
This must have changed how you do your job. I can't even imagine before compared to now must be a game changer.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just the mobility and the strength that I have to know that I can go in and I can lift patients and I can move so much easier. Yeah, it's definitely made work a lot easier, which has made going to work a lot more fun and a lot better.
Love it. I adore you. I am so happy for you. You look healthy. You look happy. Your story is inspiring. It's not an easy story to share. I know it's not easy to get up in front of people and be honest and real and share your story. What's your what do you want to say? What's your final, not to put you on a spot, but we're all just listening. How did she do it?
Yeah.
What's your final words of wisdom to our members?
I think just know that you do have it in you. That as hard as some days are going to be, that you have the strength inside you. If you just keep persevering, have your support system, listen to the lives, and you can do it. And that's easy for me to say. Obviously, when life is tough, it can be hard to remind yourself of that. But yeah, we all have that strength inside of us, and I definitely believe that everyone can make the changes. So.
Are you nervous about the weight coming back? You nervous about that?
I can't lie and say that I'm not like nervous. There's definitely a part of me, but I've made so many changes. I am so much more aware of my relationship with food. I have all these things in place, like even just the therapist, like being able to go to my therapist and speak with him. Yeah, I know that even if the weight does come back, I know how to get it back off. I know what changes need to be made. So yeah, I can't say I'm not nervous at all, but I know that that I can keep it off.
Well, keep us up to dated. Let me know when you reach your goal. That is so exciting. I'm assuming that's 160 pounds down
Yes,
is your goal.
yes,
You're so
exactly.
close. And then, girl, you have got to. I want to see you in our maintenance program.
Yes,
I
I've
want to
already
see you
bought
in.
it. I already have
Yeah.
it sitting there waiting for
Okay,
me. So.
good. Yes. All right. So then I'm going to follow up with you. Please let me know when you reach your goal. I'm going to send you some flowers because I'm excited for you. And then I will see you in our maintenance program, and maybe we'll have a little chat there and
Excellent.
see
Sounds
how
good.
see how you're doing in maintenance. Thank you so much. What a treat. As our first guest of our spring summer program. I honestly am just so grateful. I'm just so freaking excited for you. Especially being as young as you are. You have your whole life ahead of you and so many trips that you're gonna go on where you won't need to ask, wear your damn seatbelt, girl. Wear your damn seatbelt.
That's right.
Thanks, Elizabeth. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, come on. I can't. Oh my goodness. That's healthy weight loss right there. Not just physically, mentally. Healthy weight loss hits differently. I'm really happy that Kim chose her as our first guest. I do recognize there are many of our members who are using weight loss medications, GLP-1s. I want you to know that this is a safe space for you. I'm assuming that you've had the conversations with your doctors. And quite frankly, it's not my place to judge, nor is it anyone else's. And I think they can absolutely be a game changer for some people. um at her highest, again, 325 pounds, that's, that comes with some health issues, and at that point it's either weight loss surgery, which comes with issues and whatnot. And I just thank goodness that these medications are available to people. So if that is you, that this is a safe place for you. We're going to have Dr. Sean Wharton join us. He is deals in obesity medicine. We're going to have more informed conversations. Not everyone needs them, and if you don't, how wonderful and amazing is that for you? And if you do, we are also here for you. Elizabeth is a fucking rock star. Excuse me for swearing, but she's amazing. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. I know you're walking away feeling inspired no matter where you are at in your journey, because 152 pounds down is no joke. We're really just getting started around here. Stay tuned. We're also just getting started with these real people, real journey conversations. Lots more to come. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.